Hello friends, welcome to a new watercolor tutorial and I am VanidasMangathil. In today's video, we are going to make very simple watercolors that a very absolute beginner can attempt. It is done in a monochromatic approach with a lot of wet on wet kind of explorations. So this is what we have done today. So you can see this. So this is what we are doing today. I will be explaining the entire process. It is a very simple background, wet on wet approach, and a lot of water, a lot of colors, a lot of fun, and then we have added a little bit of foreground element to create some interest. The entire process will be explained in the video. Without further ado, let us begin the video. Here I am making a small rectangle and I am planning to make a simple sketch in this rectangle. This rectangle is proportional to the canvas size that I am considering. Okay, so this and the canvas size are proportional, and here I am making a small horizon line which is somewhat small. The sky is slightly more and the land is a little bit less. It is not exactly at the center, and some suggestion of some foliage. I am using a soft pencil for this so that I can smudge it. Okay, so I am smudging it, and this looks like a far end foliage. Now let us plan something else. Okay, so let us make a small piece of land here, a small piece of land. And see, this is something from imagination. I wanted to make it very simple. Okay, small piece of maybe shallow land, and there could be some shape, some tree kind of thing here. A simple tree. Okay, and let us tone it with some dark, and there could be some reflection for that. Okay, some reflection for the tree. So that is one of the major elements. So this tree and the reflection. Okay, so this is just a very simple idea, as I have already mentioned. You can try this approach, whatever we are going to do today. You can try with some similar other ideas also. Okay, a small tree and a reflection, a little bit of water, and far end foliage, and maybe some figure here, maybe a pair of figures, two figures here. That is the idea that I am getting now. Okay, these are very simple sort of ideas. Now, nothing complicated. So you can always practice with simple ideas. When you are learning watercolors, practice with simple ideas. Don't make it very complex. Okay, so these are the kind of images. Maybe a couple of pole or some additional elements there. Right, now this is the overall idea which we are going to paint today. Okay, we can make it very simple idea, very convincing idea. Small washes. I am going to make it using some simple washes, and that is what I am going to do today. Okay, so it may be the sky could be a little darker, and similarly the bottom of the water, the bottom area, the foreground area also could be a little darker. So this is the overall sort of idea. Okay, should we do anything here? There could be a little bit of a lighting. I wanted to define some play of light around that area. Okay, so I think that's it for the overall idea. And what else? Is there anything else that we can do? I don't know really, to be frank. Okay, so let us now get into the watercolor paper. I have already made a small sketch of watercolor paper. Okay, on the watercolor paper I have made a very simple sketch of the idea that we have discussed. Some separation of sky and land, and a tree here, and the reflection now. Okay, so these are the sort of ideas. Okay, and nothing complex. A big wash, okay, a big wash for the sky, and a big wash for the sky, and a big wash for the water. Wet on wet washes. That is the kind of idea that I am getting. I'll be using Payne's Grey as the color. Okay, the Payne's Grey, and most likely it will be a monochromatic using this particular color. You could use some other dark colors like maybe ultramarine blue, burnt sienna, or some other dark color. Even black, if you want to try with, you could try with those things. Okay, so blue or black or whatever color you want, you can try with that. I specifically like, Payne's Grey. Right, now we have to kind of wet the paper first, so the entire paper can be made wet, and we can sort of wet the entire area. Right, so let us take some clean water, and with a flat brush I am applying it thoroughly. This is a synthetic 2-inch brush, and I am using clean water, and I am thoroughly wetting it. Okay. So the watercolor paper that I am using is a cold pressed watercolor paper, 300 GSM, and the brand that I am using is an Indian brand called Chitrapat. Okay, you may not get it outside of India. So any 100% cotton cold pressed watercolor paper should be good. I am leaving the space for the figures as dry. I am not wetting the area of the figure. Rest every place I am wetting it. Okay, not that area is left. Right. Now the paper is ensure that the paper is completely wet. Okay. Now what you can do is we can apply some kind of a color. So we can apply once it is completely wet. Okay, thoroughly wet. You can apply the colors. You can see a lot of sheen is happening. The paper is buckled now. You can see the buckling happening. So you can manage with the buckling. Okay, so those bends, ups and downs, you can manage the buckling usually. And if you think it is not manageable, maybe you can stretch the watercolor paper, stretch your watercolor paper. But for this size, I don't think stretching is required. This is quarter sheet of a paper, approximately A3 size. Now let us take some color. So I am taking Payne's Grey color, and I am adding a lot of water. I don't know if it is called Payne's Grey or Payne's Grey. You understand? Okay. So if you don't have this color, take any adjacent appropriate color which can give you a good tonal range. Okay. The paper is wet. I am using a soft round brush, and I am kind of letting it bleed down. Okay, it is flowing down, it is bleeding down because my paper is at an angle of around 30 degrees. So let it flow down. Okay, so keep filling the paper. Occasionally you can leave some area as white, and so that you can sort of get some subtle color variations. This much is done actually for the what you call it, the sky, and maybe I am adding some water around that area. Okay, around this area I am adding some water so that that area can be little lighter than the surrounding area. Okay, because I wanted to define some play of light there. Some more color. Ensure that the color is thoroughly mixed. No thick pigment trapped in the brush. Some more darker touches for the top of the paper, so that you get some color variation, some sort of an atmosphere on the sky, and let it bleed down. Let it bleed down. Okay, play with it. I'm just playing with it, not worrying too much. I'm just leaving the area for the figures as untouched. Okay, apart from there, and leaving that this area little white, rest of the other areas I am making it little bit of dark. The white that I am leaving now is for the figures. We have drawn the figures there, and I think rest other area we can make it dark. Just play with it. I am not precisely planning anything as of now. I am just looking for some color variation, and all the edges are soft. All the edges are soft. Okay. Leave it, be playful, and yeah, I think we have filled almost the paper. Now we can do the rest of the elements. See, there may be some paint accumulated at the bottom, so we have to take it out. Those accumulated paint at the bottom, we are taking out with the help of a damp brush. Just take out wet brush, take out all the water from the brush using a sponge or tissue paper, and then drag the accumulated paint at the bottom. If you don't take it out, it will back run and it will create some blobs. So here I think around the center we will make the foliage now, and that could be the wet on wet approach, but here it seems to be little wet as of now, so we'll have to wait until this gets dry. Okay, so here if you can see, this is our reference, and here we have the foliages, far end foliages. Okay, that is what we are going to do next at this particular around this line. Okay, but this will bleed down if we do it now, because it is very wet. It will lead to a lot of spread. Okay, so what we have to do is we have to wait until this gets little bit of dry. Okay, we have to wait until this gets little bit of dry, otherwise it may spread all over the place. I have waited for some time now. Now I think we are ready to define the far end foliage. See, the color is little thicker now. It is not as watery as we did for the washes. And let us try if it is dry enough. Little bit of spread should happen because the paper should be damp. I think it is reasonably good, because we are finding some spread happening. So since it is something at the far end, little bit of spread will give an interesting result. That is the kind of idea that I have. I think we need to make the right side foliage could be little bit of I would say let the right side be little lighter. Okay, so I think that is okay. I think that is okay. When it comes to the center, I think it should be a little bit more lighter. Okay, so maybe little thin and little light in color at the center area, because at the center area where we are leaving it blank as of now, there is a play of light. Okay, so we are making very light mix there, and we are filling that area. Okay, so that we get an illusion of some light at that particular point. I think that is fair enough. I think that is fair enough, and this area looks good, and we can define the reflection if we want now. Okay, or what else? We have to actually, I think at this point we will have to see if it is wet enough or if it is dry. So we can see it is still. I'm just checking if we can proceed or not. We may have to we can try for that the loose land probably. The little bit of land, the shallow land that we have defined. Maybe we can try that. I'm not still 100% sure, because it is still little bit of wet. It is not 100% dry, the paper around this area. But since the paint is little thick, I think it is okay. We can define the shallow land now, and this much, and little bit of reflection of that piece of land. I think that is okay. We can make some touches, and this looks okay. that looks okay. Little reflection and all those things looks good. And what else? We need to now go for the reflection of the tree now. Okay, so if we want, actually we can either do the reflection first or the tree first. So let us make the tree first, I think. Again, it is darker thing, it is nearby element. Let us make it much darker. And I am using a soft round brush, and I am using the side of the brush to define the sort of tree. This is not a precise tree, okay, this is just a suggestive tree, right? Just some touches here and there. If you want, you can make it precise, but I wanted to, give you a very simplified approach. Your tree doesn't have to be very precise. Okay, I think that seems to be a convincing tree now. That seems to be a convincing tree. What we need probably is maybe the reflection of it. Okay, we can probably do the vertical reflection of that. And the reflection, we need to slightly, add some water so that it is slightly lighter than the tree, the reflection. Whether the reflection is always lighter than the object or not, it's a different question. You may find situations where the reflection is darker than the subject. It is possible in certain situations. So I think, some vertical strokes for the reflection. I may soften some of these edges, okay? I may soften some of these edges because too much of clarity doesn't look good for the reflection. So a little bit of softening and a little bit of spread of the tones, colors, I think that is a good idea. Again, this is not precise. We are just playing with it. Maybe you can feel free to do a little bit of exploration here and there. Some kind of softening the edges, some kind of de-shaping, distorting, some kind of, spreading the tones left and right. See, whatever you think can be applied, try to validate. You think for ideas and get some ideas, validate your ideas, and then you can probably, you can explore. I'm sprinkling some water to get some texture, okay. Sprinkling some water. See, these water droplets may fall in all over the places, but I am not really worried. You can explore. See, most of the rest of the area are wet, dry now. So even if you add the sprinkles, it is not a problem. Even if it falls on the figures, not a problem. Now I think what we have to do is the figures, okay. Rest, what else we have to do? I think we do the figures now, and we can see, if you want, we can use some other colors here to get some attraction, but I am tempted to do the same paint spray color. So let this figure be a little darker, okay. And painting figure is not an easy task. It is really challenging. It is really challenging. So please do in whichever way possible. I have a lot of videos on painting figures, so you can check out my videos on figures and practice those things to get better with the figures. I also have a playlist for how to paint the figures, a crowd of figures in the right perspective. About the perspective of crowd of people, I have a separate playlist, so you can check it out, and that will surely help if you want to improve your figures in watercolors. Okay, this seems to be convincing. See, if you want, you can add more figures, but I will leave it this. So I have read at many places that when you add figures, it should be in odd numbers, but I don't really think, that is always essential. Here, I think two people makes more sense to me at this particular point. Okay, it is not a crowd, or it is not a very major, very active scene. It is just an isolated place. Maybe just two people are speaking, or it could be a couple. Anything is possible. You can imagine. It is up to your imagination. Some small kind of poles may be helpful, and we can add some reflection. Okay, so should we add some touches here and there? Some dark things at any other places? I really do not know. To be frank. If I wanted, I could add lot of things, but I wouldn't probably do that. I think I will have to do the signature now. Whether I should do it on the left side or on the right side, I'm not sure. I will do it on the right side. So I'm signing now. I'm done with my signature. I think I'm happy with the overall result, whatever result we got. I'm happy, and this is a very simple scene, no details, very simple washes, and I think we have done justice to our initial diagram. Whatever we wanted to copy it into the watercolors, we did it, the far end foliages, and the overall feel of sky, and the vertical falling of the colors, play of light in the middle, the light in the middle, and all those things are looking reasonably good. The overall kind of perspective, the trees and the reflection. They are all vertical elements. Some horizontal element, vertical element. We did some figures. We had some splashes of textures. All those things are overall. It looks convincing. So I feel this can be treated as complete, and our today's tutorial can be treated as finished. Thank you for staying with me throughout this video. Hope you have enjoyed it. You had something to learn from this. Please do practice. These kind of simple works can be done with a little bit of practice, because initially to get this wet on wet washes and the overall behavior of watercolor medium takes a little time and practice. Once you do this kind of practice, you can understand the medium better, and you can scale up your watercolors to the next level. If you find this video informative, if it was helpful to you, please do subscribe to my channel and press the bell notification. I am planning to release more videos every week. If you have any question, any suggestions, any other comments, please do write them in the comment box below. And if you think this video can be helpful to your friends, artist friends, watercolor aspirant friends, please do share them. That will help me a lot. It will give me a lot of motivation, and the video will also reach to a wider audience. So we'll soon meet you with another tutorial, and happy painting. Thank you very much.